Today's first video for you is firstly a resolution has been introduced at US House's Foreign Affairs Committee against Russia. The resolution is about Russian activities in Africa. Second, viewers, members of a small ethnic group have protested. These ethnic group members live in Oromia, SNNPR border areas, especially in SNNPR. Why are they protesting? Thirdly, yesterday we reported about TDF's withdrawal, TDF's announcement to withdraw from the Afar region. Question is, from which areas has Tigray Defense Force withdrawn so far? Is it withdrawing altogether from a Afar region? And lastly, Dr. Tedros spoke about Tigray conflict, Russia-Ukraine conflict a few hours ago. We have a video clip of Dr. Tedros for you. He says in the clip that members of an ethnic group are being burnt alive for no reason. They're being burnt alive just because they are members of a particular ethnic group. They did not commit any crime. Is that what happened in BG if Tigrayans were burnt alive? Were they burnt alive just because they were Tigrayans? Or they were suspected of being involved in an attack on security forces? Suspicion was ill-placed, it seems. But Tedros in the clip says that they were burnt alive just because they were Tigrayans. First, viewers, a resolution has been introduced by a US representative at US Foreign Affairs Committee, House Foreign Affairs Committee. Name of the representative is Gregory Meeks. Resolution number 7311 was introduced, which has been passed by the Foreign Affairs Committee. Resolution will now be submitted to the House for voting. What is the resolution about? This resolution is about Russian activities in Africa. Gregory Meeks and Foreign Affairs Committee of US House says that Russia is involved in activities against democracy in Africa. Russia is after natural resources of Africa, and Russians are involved in malign activities in Africa. Now, we have a clip of one of the representatives of US Foreign Relations Committee. Before that, we know that in the past few weeks, some resolutions were introduced at UN General Assembly against Russia. What happened there? Did African countries support Russia? Or did they support the resolutions against Russia? I have been reporting all the developments at General Assembly sessions regarding some resolutions against Russia. And we saw that Africa overwhelmingly supported Russia. African countries, they supported Russia by voting in favor of Russia, or by abstaining, or by being absent. So African countries do not seem to be having these complaints which US is having. US says that Russia is after natural resources of Africa, but we are not seeing such complaints from Africa. Why is that? It seems that after Russian and Chinese entry in Africa, US and the West are losing their clout in this continent. So through this resolution, US representatives are urging the US government to take action, to put Russian African officials under sanctions who are involved in advancing Russian interests in Africa. Watch this clip of a US representative about S 7311 resolution.
H.R. 7311 would require the Secretary of State to develop and submit to Congress a strategy and implementation plan outlining the United States' efforts to counter Russia's malign activities in Africa. This legislation would also require the State Department to identify and hold accountable Russian and African officials for facilitating the Russian Federation's malign activities, often designed to exploit the continent's natural resources, manipulate democratic processes, and evade sanctions.
Secondly, viewers, members of a small ethnic group have protested. They say that they are facing ethnic cleansing. They are targets of ethnic cleansing. Their survival is in danger. They are members of Koore ethnic group. Koore is a small ethnic group. Its members live mostly in SNNPR. Amare Voreda is the place where they live, in some parts of Oromia as well. Amare Voreda is right on Oromia SNNPR border. It's part of SNNPR. And we have seen several clashes between some groups from Oromia and Koore ethnic group members in the past. I think I did some videos on that last year. Now, these ethnic group members are protesting. They are accusing groups from Oromia region that they are involved in attacks on their properties in Amare Voreda. Are they referring to Oromo Liberation Army or government-backed groups? In the past, they have been accusing government-backed militias and OLA, both, that they have been involved in attacks on Koore community members and their properties. Watch this small clip showing Koore ethnic group members protesting against attacks on their community. Thirdly, viewers, yesterday Tigray government announced to withdraw from some parts of Afar region through Tigray TV. This announcement was made. What happened after that? From which areas have Tigray forces withdrawn so far? Is TDF withdrawing altogether from Afar? Tigray TV made announcement about TDF's withdrawal from Arabity. TDF has withdrawn from Arabity. You can see some pictures on your screen. The pictures show Afar militia members, Afar fighters. The pictures are from Arabity. So Arabity has come under Afar control. Afar militia members have shared pictures, videos from Arabity. But we have not seen any visual confirmation regarding TDF's withdrawal from other Voredas like Kannaba, Birhale, Abala and Megale as well. So it seems that so far TDF has only withdrawn from one Voreda, and that is Arabity. TDF is still there in Abala, in Kannaba, Birhale and Magale as well. TDF might withdraw from these places as well in coming days. The withdrawal could be gradual. So if TDF is out of Arabati, it does not mean that it won't withdraw from other places. Yes, it could withdraw. Withdrawal could be gradual. So we'll have to wait and see. But after the withdrawal of Tigray forces from Arabati, we have not seen any aid reach Tigray so far in the last 24 hours. So aid is still blocked. Just 21 trucks have entered Tigray since the announcement of truce around more than 2 weeks ago. Lastly, we have a video clip of Dr. Tedros, WHO chief for you. He says that the world is not treating black and white lives equally. It should not happen, he says. And lastly, he says that in Ethiopia, people are being burnt alive just because of their ethnicity. They haven't done anything wrong. They haven't committed any crime. But just because they are members of an ethnic group, they are being burnt alive. Is that what happened in BG when Tigrayans were burnt alive? I would disagree with Dr. Tedros. Yes, Tigrayans were burnt alive there, but they were suspected of having been involved in an attack on government forces, which happened a few days ago. The suspicion was ill-placed. Tigrayans were reportedly not involved, but security forces on the spot, they suspected their involvement in the attack. So that is why they burned them alive. We can't say that they just arrested some Tigrayans and burned them alive just because they were Tigrayans. So I think Dr. Tedros should correct himself. It's not what happened in BG. That is why he is accused that he just parrots TPLF's propaganda. He should be neutral. Yes, he has a right to highlight plight of Tigrayans. We also report about ongoing siege, about human rights atrocities against Tigrayans. It does not mean that we should twist the facts too. Watch this clip of Dr. Tedros about humanitarian crisis in Ethiopia and other parts of the world. Thank you for watching.
Although there are some trickles of medicine reaching the region, that's also under blockade. And I said it last time, 46,000 people living with HIV, we don't know where they are. No program. And many of them, you would assume that they have already died. But I think some people have said it earlier. I don't know if the world really gives equal attention to black and white lives. I said it last week. The whole attention to Ukraine is very important, of course, because it impacts the whole world. But even a fraction of it is not being given to Tigray, Yemen, Afghanistan, Syria, and the rest. A fraction. And I need to be blunt and honest that the world is not treating the human race the same way. Some are more equal than others. And when I say this, it pains me, because I see it. Very difficult to accept, but it's happening. Thank you, Simon, again for your question. But I hope the world comes back to its senses and treats all human life equally. What's happening in Ethiopia is a tragic situation. People are being burned alive. I don't know if that was even taken seriously by the media because of their ethnicity, but nothing else. Without any crime. So we need to balance. We need to take every life seriously because every life is precious.